We are so saturated with stimulation that sitting down to eat a meal without a YouTube video playing feels uncomfortable. This constant digital noise is everywhere, and it can slowly erode your productivity, your confidence, and your happiness. Grab a pen and a piece of paper right now. We are going to move past passive watching and actually build a 5-step action plan for your specific situation. To understand why you feel stuck, look at this graph. This is your dopamine baseline. When you engage in high stimulation activities like scrolling reels or gaming, your brain triggers an unnatural spike in its reward system. It feels good, but it is temporary. Once the activity ends, your dopamine doesn't just settle back to normal, it crashes below your baseline. This deficit is the source of that specific feeling of being tired, unmotivated, and bored. Your brain wants to escape this low point, so it demands more instant pleasure to force the levels back up. But the next peak is shorter, and the next crash is deeper. This loop is how an addiction sustains itself. When your brain is in this chemical deficit, relying on willpower alone is like trying to drive a car with no fuel. You aren't just fighting a bad habit, you're fighting a biological system that is screaming for relief. To get out, you need a plan to repair that baseline. Let's start the plan. Step 1 is the honesty audit. Write down your specific addiction and the exact excuse you use to justify it. You might say you do it to relax or just to pass the time. But if you cannot stop or control the activity when you want to, it isn't relaxation anymore. Recognizing that lack of control is where the change begins. Step 2 is the dopamine swap. If you simply delete an app, you leave a gap in your daily reward system. Without a new source of stimulation, the brain will almost always pull you back to what is familiar. You have to fill that gap. Write down one healthy, effort-based activity, like exercise or a social hobby, that you will use as your replacement starting today. When I struggled with gaming, I started focusing on physical progress at the gym. As I saw my body change, my brain began getting its dopamine from real results instead of digital ones. Eventually, the games began to lose their pull. Success isn't about leaving a void in your life. It's about rerouting your brain's natural desire for progress into a healthy outlet. For deep-seated patterns, a casual hobby might not provide enough of a challenge. This brings us to step 3, the obsession project. This is a goal that is large enough to require your consistent energy, something like building a business, learning a difficult craft, or starting a project that demands your focus. Add this obsession to your paper. It should be something you find genuinely worth your time. When you are invested in a mission that actually matters to you, the old addictions don't just feel wrong. They start to feel like a distraction. They no longer hold your attention because you have something better to do. True freedom happens when your new direction makes your old habits feel irrelevant to who you are now. Step 4 is fix your baseline. Addiction is often used to escape from stress, loneliness, or a lack of sleep. If your life is exhausting, you will continue to seek out easy escapes. Write down one foundational habit you will use to protect your mental health. This could be consistent sleep, a daily walk, or a few minutes of meditation. Finally, step 5 is the identity shift. We tend to act in ways that match how we see ourselves. If you tell yourself you are a certain type of person, your brain will try to prove you right. If you keep thinking, "I am a lazy person," your actions will follow that script. But if you begin to truly believe, "I am a disciplined person," you start making choices that protect that reputation. Take your pen and write your new identity statement. Cross out the old label and replace it with the person you are actively becoming. Behavioral changes fix your daily routine, but it is your identity that keeps those habits in place when things get difficult. You now have a strategy built on the biology of how your brain actually works. You have the audit, the swap, the goal, the baseline, and the identity. But we have to address the reality of a relapse. You might slip up. If you do, it does not mean your plan has failed. Shifting from engaging in an addiction every day to once a week is a significant change in your brain's chemistry. One mistake does not reset your progress to zero. When you have a setback, do not waste energy on self-hatred. Look at your plan and simply get back to the work you've started. To make this real, go to the comments and type out your Step 1 addiction as a public commitment. Then pin that physical plan to your wall where you can see it every day. Tangible action is the only way forward.